And that's what you don't want from your dog. You don't want your dog to feel like they need to handle shit.
Exactly.
So that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Go ahead and pan to her real quick and what she's doing. Kind of take the solace, staying calm. Now, I think one thing that'll be interesting to find out is what happens if I actually walk towards you and approach you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll do. Go ahead and come over here and get it from the I'm just gonna walk towards you, shake your hand. How's it going? Good stuff. Beautiful. She can't hurt me through this. It's about as thick as it gets, so. And another thing is like, I don't really want her to think that like this behavior, since I'm gonna be handling her and stuff, I don't really want to give her the idea that her behaving like this is gonna like get her way, you know?
Exactly.
Like I gotta hold my ground. I'm not trying to put like an excessive amount of pressure on her because I don't want to like I don't want to leave like a super negative, you know what I mean? Like obviously this isn't a great experience for her, but I think you can make it a lot worse by like applying too much pressure in this particular context. So, you know, the whole entire goal for me is like to allow like the initial fucking whoa, dude, and get that out of the way and get some more information on top of that. But
I'm surprised for Brutus. See, I thought Brutus was going to be the more.
Yeah, I thought he would go for you, and then he kind of just says, "Oh, you're here. That's fine." And then
yeah, he's more about like honestly, when the dog shows up, he's not great with people. He used to be really good, like really good.
like people could come up to him and he'd wag his tail and he didn't really bark or anything.
Not even my brother who saved him. I mean, you saw the picture of him. He was a mess.
yeah. Well, that part of it, like that the behavior and all that stuff, that's, you know, we can get to that. Like my main point of emphasis right now is like square one, like can I handle these dogs? You know what I mean? Like as soon as I can handle them, I can start teaching them.
Yeah.
But I can't handle dogs unless I actually feel like, you know, I could handle them without, you know, risking my biscuit, because if I get hurt, the whole operation gets shut down. So that's why this big goofy ass, you know, thing. Next challenge, after we kind of get to a space where now we're just chilling and both dogs tend to be, you know, acclimating with me in the realm, would be grabbing a leash and then just handing me the handle, and then I could just start walking. Let's start with Brutus.
You want to grab Brutus with you?
Yeah, just grab the leash. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to do it like super nonchalant. Like you just like take a step closer and go to the end of it. Yeah, and just stay relaxed, like it's all good. And you know, kind of like when he's not paying attention. Apart from her real quick, try to. I was kind of hoping they'd try to bite me just to see how good the suit is. You see how she actually tried to sneak up behind me and bite me?
Yeah.
That's insecure, that's fear, that's like if I were to actually put any pressure on her, she'd shit herself.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
yeah, she got scared when the last trainer put pressure on her. She was at the ground.
back up a little bit.
Yeah. So he wants to hide.
You catch her trying to sneak up on her.
Uh-oh, there she goes. See? See?
Call his name.
Brutus! Hey, Brutus! Well, Brutus seems to be doing well, but like, he got through his other training, you know. We just need one that we can have people over, they'll just wear it for an hour and then, yeah. We just need to get one for the house, that way we can have people over and they just wear the bite suit.
Yeah, she's more of the concern, that one.
Has been.
Alright, go ahead and grab her leash. I'm gonna take him and put him in his kennel, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Mama. Hey, come here. Come on. Over here. Come here.
Well, I thought she would hide behind us. I didn't think she'd like wait till he left and then sneak up and then nip him and run away. Like,
Did she nip him?
Yeah, I didn't see that. Like, she would like run to his legs and like run away. And then, like,
That's some vicious behavior right there.
yeah.
Just let her feel it out. No, nothing's happening. Nothing bad's happening to you, buddy. Just relax. Just relax. You know, the other interesting thing to see would be see if, you know, like when you guys are gone. That's sometimes it changes.
It does.
You know, sometimes like all of a sudden she won't feel so defensive about it.
When she goes, when we take her to the vet and they take, because we had to change vets, we take her to a fear-free one. Not that it honestly works. We want her to be drugged every time she goes in there.
So, you know, every now and again, I won't say that's never necessary. You know, obviously if the people are at risk, you know, meds are always a decent solution.
She, I don't think that she did. I feel like maybe she has to just get used to the meds. She, but when she goes back there with them, it's when I'm there. She goes back there with them.
They're okay.
They said she does great.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like when we leave, even when, like I said, she had a daycare in Ohio. And I mean, honestly, she loved everyone there for the most part. But when we rarely ever got a problem there. A dog attacked her there, and she never went back to go and fight him. She actually was like, ran away from it.
Well, the thing is, you could drop her off at daycare, pick her up, like, that's when you have a problem. And then she's there all day, she's fine. Then you pick her up, and then she's like, oh, you're here. And then she would lunge at the people sometimes.
Yeah, when she's there with them, she does great.
All right. Well, what we could do is, if that's the case, which we gotta hope for that, like we don't have to put more pressure on her now. That information leads me to think that maybe we can try. Just have you put her in her crate next to Brutus, and then you know, I'll revisit the scenario like after you guys leave, like this evening. I'll get after it and see if her and I can get someplace. I'll throw food, hang by the kennel, and you know, do my whole process of acclimation and familiarization, and because I can help you with the reactivity shit, you know, with all the things that we'll talk about and go over and structure and the rules and the boundaries and obedience and the behavior modification strategies. But yeah, I just got to be able to handle them. And then from there, you know, that's when I'll pass the reins and have you guys work through it in those specific contexts. But
we were talking in the car, and we were saying that I have a feeling what she has done, like, oh, she does good, and then like we come and then she sees us and then flips the script.
Oh yeah.
yeah. So what we'll do is we'll think up, you know, what we can do to help improve your guys' relationship together.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, we can make feasible goals. You know, even the slightest bit of improvements in those specific contexts would be considered pretty big wins, and then look for longer term results with the continuation of all the, you know, implemented strategies. So I actually just been studying this, going back and watching this interaction. It all happens so fast. It's like, you know, sometimes I'll go back and watch this content and review exactly what happened in my mind and come up with like a more accurate assessment of what was actually going on. Earlier in the video, I cut out some of the video because I was a little embarrassed at an incorrect assessment. And one of the incorrect assessments I made was that Sadie, the one that was actually going after me, Brutus is the other one. That was just, you know, relatively fine, you know, compared to Sadie. But Sadie just hadn't really exhibited, you know, the behavior of, you know, resource guarding, being ultra reactive with mom and dad around yet. So I was like, oh, Sadie's standing right behind you, taking solace, but not necessarily attacking me or anything. And then it took some time, and then Sadie kind of proved me wrong in that's exactly what Sadie was doing. The only time Sadie behaves this way is when mom's around. Been to other daycares, fine while at daycare, but when they pick her up, you probably heard her describe that if you watched the whole video. And then all of a sudden, when mom and dad comes around, she becomes this absolute psychopath. That's just it comes from a place of insecurity, fear, uncertainty, and also the dog thinks that, like, the dog literally thinks that mom and dad can't handle the situations themselves. And that's what the goal is of this entire program here. We're going to show her and her owners that her owners are in control of this. All right. The days of this shit happening are absolutely fucking over. All right. Absolutely 100% unacceptable behavior. But I got some work to do in reference to being able to handle this dog at the appropriate time. I cannot work with the dog when they're experiencing conflict. At this moment in time, 48 hours removed from the time they've been dropped off, we're not ready to really go to work yet. You know, my philosophy, you know, regarding this type of situation is, could you imagine getting told what to do by a complete stranger, how you would receive that, how you would likely become more defiant, how you would likely not be in a good position to learn? That's exactly what I'm talking about here. As soon as she gives me the go-ahead, and Brutus as well, you know, Brutus, I don't know yet for sure if I could like pet him and all that stuff and like put a collar around their neck without getting absolutely barbecued. So it's going to take some time and a lot of time spent and a lot of understanding how not to get lit up by a dog who's not ready to be approached by somebody they don't know. It's going to take some time for me to get there, and I'm going to use my instinct, and I'm going to be patient, put in the work, put in the time, and see where we go from there. But that's the ultimate assessment. You know, ultimately, that's exactly what was going on. We need to turn these people into leaders, and that's precisely what I plan to do. Both these dogs have seen previous trainers. I do believe that I have something different to offer. I fully believe that. Not all dogs are created equally. The results will always vary. But I hope that throughout the duration of this program, my knowledge, my information, my approach proves to be the final destination, the final stop for these people and their quest to receive help for their dogs, because that's ultimately exactly what people come to me for. They just need help. The people need help. And if I can achieve this, I'm happy. I'm a really hard critic on myself. I'm very hard on myself. I really want to do the best possible job I can. And I think that's ultimately one of the reasons for my continued success, because my intentions are pure. I have a lot of ability. I have great instinct, and I have a ton of experience. My mileage runs deep, and I continue to learn. And quite possibly, Sadie and Brutus are both going to teach me something throughout the course of this program. And for that, I'm forever grateful. Let's move on to the rest of the video. This is going to be kind of a long one. And it's only been 48 hours since they were dropped off. Cool. Come on, Papa. That wasn't so bad. On both sides? Good girl. Pretty interesting concept, you know, dogs behaving a specific way when the owners are around and when they leave. They don't exhibit, you know, the same dangerous unhinged behavior, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I could still get bit by this dog. All I'd have to do is cross a line. You know, I just feel like at this point, this is my third time getting her out of the kennel today. If she was going to bite me, she probably would have done it by now, just for the sake of biting me. Come on, baby, this way. So we're just not adding any additional conflict or, good girl, go pee-pee, or any pressure, you know, by any means. So I just need to hurry up and exist with her enough to where she gets to the point where, you know, she'll allow me to touch her. At this particular point in time, there's just absolutely no way I'd be able to touch her. And typically, you know, when you've done this long enough, you can kind of tell when a dog's ready for that sort of thing. Hey, Zeppelin, could you cut it out with the background noise, bud? Thank you. Shasha, Zeppelin. Number one reason why giant schnauzers are at the top of my list of dog breeds I would never get, okay? You're too loud all the time. Too loud. Come on, baby. I started with the bite suit. Now I just got jeans on and stuff because the bite suit is super inconvenient to wear. It's hot, can barely move in it. It's not really broken in all that great. And when I noticed she wasn't trying to bite me anymore, I was like, well, I could go to jeans now and just be out here with her and hang and show her that there's really nothing to fear. Not even so much as looking at her, you know. And the other thing is just keeping a blank canvas myself, not being nervous or putting off any sort of type of energy that would translate, you know. Because if I was nervous, that certainly wouldn't play into this whole situation very positively. Obviously, it's a little unsettling when you got a dog that was just trying to taste you the day before, 24 hours ago. But, you know, like I always say whenever I'm talking to people about this sort of thing, there's a lot of instinct on top of having a giant set of nuts in this game. If you have one without the other, well, probably get yourself into some trouble. I do a pretty good job of not getting lit up by these types of dogs. Have I ever been bitten before? Yeah, I've been bitten before. You know, but the bright side to that is you learn from your mistakes. You know what I mean? So it's really cool for me to see her kind of using her nose, and it's even cooler to see that she's actually using the bathroom right now. Good girl, because the first couple of times, good girl, good pee-pee. The first couple of times she was out here, she was just a little bit too nervous to even consider using the bathroom. So now she's using the bathroom, which, hey, it's positive in my book. We're in no particular rush with these kind of dogs. However long it takes is how long it takes for them to acclimate and to become adjusted to the environment. And as soon as that happens, you've already got yourself a victory right there. You know, there's already a victory in place once a dog starts to let their hair down and become a little bit more confident in a new environment of which, you know, they were extremely uncomfortable in to begin with. And, you know, once we can get to the point where I could actually touch her, put different collars on her and things like this, that's when the work's going to start. But not a minute before then, you know. One thing I want to make note of is making eye contact with her for too long a duration at this point. Just looking at her and making eye contact with her is something that could create enough conflict for her to feel uncomfortable enough to actually strike. Touching, talking to her, making eye contact, all of these things could definitely lead to an unpleasant and a not so ideal result. So you could kind of see, like, every time she looks up at me, I kind of immediately look away, because I don't want her to feel like I'm challenging her in any sort of capacity, because again, I'm trying not to get barbecued here, but at the same time, I want to work on nothing but positive experiences for her, so that we can get to that point of acclimation and comfort a lot sooner, because as soon as we get to there, that's when the work starts. Kind of letting her drag me around, letting her dictate where this thing goes. And of course, eventually we'll get to a point where I won't allow her to drag me around and stuff like that. And we can start incorporating some confidence building skills. We can start incorporating more structure and more rules, obedience, counter conditioning, all these types of things that we work on once we're actually able to do so. But it's extremely counterproductive to put pressure on dogs much too early in the process, like of which the trainer that this dog came from previously just put an e-collar on straight away and went to work on that, which is not only the most unethical thing to do, but if you're looking for actually any real results, it's one of the most ridiculous things to do, right? We're not looking to suppress this dog into compliance. We're looking to build a relationship, build on trust. Now, when I say that, I don't mean to suggest that I don't use tools. I love the e-collar. I love prong collars. I love slip leads. I love all the different tools that we have access to in our dog training toolbox. But of course, as I always say, there's a time and a place for those things. And the time and the place for those things is not this early on in the process, when a dog is already experiencing a specific level of conflict, lack of trust, fear, all these things. Could you imagine trying to learn if you were feeling all those emotions? Like trying to, you wouldn't be able to process anything. You'd be too hyper-focused on like how uncomfortable you were, and it would be a very counterproductive situation to get involved with. So that's my strategy with this dog. This is Sadie, and we're hoping for an amazing result. But this is where we are in the process. Just wanted to share that with you guys, and we're just going to hurry up and hang out together, and hopefully we get to that place sooner than later. Hit the thumbs up on the right below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I'm Captain Chad. This is Sadie. And this is what we do here at the Team Floppy Ears Ranch, Corona, California. Oh, and also, subscribe to the Patreon page for even more exclusive, never-before-seen content, patreon.com/teamfloppyears. I'll link that in the description below. If you want to help support the channel, help grow the channel, and of course, help me continuing producing these videos that tend to be relatively helpful to a lot of people at home and other dog trainers that are in the same field. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time, and that's all she wrote, folks.